And then obviously another player we have to talk about from Team Liquid is EliGE's, right? This is an interesting one because I just want to actually get you guys' takes first. Like, what do you think, Zeus? What were your expectations coming into a player like this? And then obviously under you, he really, like, that was when he started to really blossom as like, I always describe it like this. Before you joined Team Liquid and before you guys had that amazing success in 2018, it used to go like this. It was like, wow, they're a really good team for an NA team. After that, it was like, man, they're beating everyone else except Astralis. Like, they're just a really good team. Like, they're one of the best teams in the absolute world. And that means, guess what? The star players must be some of the best star players in the world. Like, forget all the stuff from early CSGO where, like, NA was a joke and, you know, they were never at the same level. Like, that team was at the same level. They were above most of the teams in the world. So, what was EliGE's like as a player to work with him? And how did you envision his game?
I think when I joined Liquid, I really didn't know how EliGE's was, like how John was. But I have a special place in my heart for John because I think he's one of the players that changed the most for the better through time. Like, I have no problem saying this. He was not the easiest to work with in the beginning. He was very set in his ways and like his concept. And no joke, he even brought like a measuring ruler, like a level to see if his monitor was level. Like, he was like very methodical and like in things. So if that's one aspect, like working with him wasn't easy, but he changed and he evolved so much over time and he learned to listen and to do his work and how he wanted to work and to be able to interact with people and explain like the thing on the communication because he is so smart and he's right 90% of the time. But if he can't get that message across, that message was lost, right? And that's kind of it. Now I don't know how it is today, but I imagine it's probably only gotten better because in my 2 years at Liquid, he evolved so much. I imagine he kept doing it, and he's able to give his ideas and feedbacks. And not only that, the way this kid like bettered himself was beautiful. Like, he'd come up in with like a little iPad or a Surface Pro or whatever it was at the time, and he had notes and remarks on the other team and how he wanted to play. And he was studying. He kept constantly studying and trying to evolve. And no joke, Nitro was the IGL. Nitro did a lot of work on the pen and paper, and EliGE's helped out on the iPad. So, like, these are the best friends of the in-game leaders, like players like this who come and give you information and help you build prep and help you do that. We love those. Those guys can be like on my team all the time because we need people like that. Those are, to me, the really good teammates. And John, like I said, it wasn't easy in the beginning, but he evolved into those. So my memories are really fond. I like to think that I was able to help him like that because my motto as a coach, I don't want people to just be better at CS. I want them to be better people. I try to remember that I'm dealing with human beings, first of all, right? So I try to connect with them on a person-to-person level. And with EliGE's, I'm really happy to have him as a friend today because of everything that we went through. We didn't always see eye to eye, but in the end, we made it work because we were able to talk to each other and do everything. And then I value people like that who are able to do that.
By the way, along those lines, I'll give a little pro tip to any pro players who are watching now. This really could help you in your career, right? There are loads of pro players who they don't think they're being used right in their team. Like, you know, the IGL doesn't use me the way, or I don't have the role that I want, or the spot that I want. You know, I'd be so much better if I had this guy's spot, or they played this way around me. Now, the problem with that is you can't just do it like a complaint, like, oh, do it differently on this round now, like, because things have been prepared. We have a system. This is where we're playing. But I'll tell you what, if you're a pro player and you want to be used in a different way, do what he just said there. Go and watch demos and find a team that's doing what you want. If this player, look, they let him lurk at this spot here, but someone covers him. Like, if you come to the IGL like that, you've done your homework and you've shown it and it's going to work, it makes sense. Dude, they might do it. Like, they'll be listening. People love to have extra ideas like that could open up the game, something you haven't thought of before. Like, it doesn't mean you have to be the IGL. You don't have to do it all the time, but just if you want to change it up a little bit, that's how you get listened to, because people are going to take you seriously if they know you did your homework. Yeah,
of course. And not only that, like, we hate people that bring us problems. You have to bring with a solution. You have to be solution-based, solved, right? So don't say, oh, my position sucks. Why does it suck? Give me an example of something we can make better, like using yours. Give me how you want to be utilized. Don't just say I'm being utilized wrong. Then how can we make you be more effective? How do we have some examples of someone that does it? Or even if it's something new that you just theorized out of your ass, but you want to try, we can try anything that you want, but you have to give me something to try. If you're just saying it's a problem, that's not helping anyone. And then I think that for every CS player, wannabe or the one that's here, because even though I say this, it still dumbfounds me that so many players in Counter-Strike are still like this at the highest level, that they don't have that mentality or self-awareness to just be a little bit more helpful in understanding and how to give the idea or how to present the idea. Because if you do your research or if you present it in the correct way, people listen. But if you're just throwing things out and hoping something sticks, that's really hard. You like an example, my dad gave me when I was young. Like, if you see someone pushing the car on the side of the road, you might stop to help. But if he's just there with the sign asking for a ride, much more likely that he won't get help.
Yes.
So you want to help people that are being helped.
Yes, great example. Yeah. By the way, on the EliGE's topic though, to bring it back a sec, one thing that's very interesting is like that's one of the players where like I'm not even bragging. Like here's one thing people don't know. Think about what my persona is. My persona is I'm the hater. It's like for example, everyone now loves Yakinda, right? I love him as well, but the problem is if everyone hypes him and makes it sound like he's already complete, all it's going to sound like I'm saying is the things he's not yet fixed, like he's still young, he's still inexperienced, he's still like, teams are going to get used to him, so it'll sound like I'm a hater, right? So the reason I set that up is because I don't just pick like 20 players and hype them, but I tell you what, when I hype the players, I have a fucking good track record, mate. So I was calling EliGE's as like the best NA player and more in early 2017, mate. Like, and the reason why I'm not claiming to be a genius, I've just watched a lot of Counter-Strike, this is the reason. Kind of like I said with Twists, where it's like if you got those skills, mate, it's something mental has to be fixed. It was like that with EliGE's, right? I could see this guy already is clutch in some scenarios, if it's maybe not a big game. This guy already has, like, clearly, like you're saying, he has an idea of how he wants to play, and I've always viewed him as a player where, like, the word for me, it reminds me of Cold Zero, it's like control. It's like the way that they control the game is what's so interesting, because a lot of players who are very good, maybe they want to just use their aim, so you up the tempo, you go fast, you make it chaotic. No, players like EliGE's and Cold Zero, they kill you by making the game slow. You go at their pace. They take the fight when they want to take the fight. They take it in the way they want to take it and the way they've practiced a million times. So when I saw a player like that, and the interesting thing to me that he's become such an amazing, consistent player now is he was a player back then. This is the reason I made the call, and I think other people didn't, is he did clearly have some sorts of problems. Like sometimes maybe he would choke in a game or pressure would get to him or he'd outthink himself. Dude, a player like that, you won't always get over it, but everything else was there. He just needed that mental aspect to be fixed, And now it just looks incredible. Like now you can see what can happen when you remove the barriers,
Yeah, he has achieved what Twist still has to achieve, I think.
Yes.
And I personally think that what makes EliGE's special, I think, is there's two type of players that can prepare for a game for themselves because they understand watching a game and they can set up plays by watching and knowing what the enemies are doing. And some players, even if they're professional, it's crazy what people actually wouldn't know how to do that.
Yes.
But he's a player that actually understands how to play anti and create own plays during a round because he just simply sees something happening during the game, and he has
legitimately one of the smartest star players I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yes, and that's why he's for me kind of like Electronic. Like Electronic is also when he sees something, I know 100% he can always make a play out of a scenario, but he's mechanically, I think, like way faster and like mechanically stronger than Electronic is. But yeah, I think he can prepare himself. Like that's what I personally think, and I wonder if that comes maybe because he was playing professionally StarCraft 2, and that's where you like kind of obviously build up your own thing. You watch for the games from other players,
tendencies, of course,
and you probably learn from that. So, but yeah, I think that he has achieved what Twist still can achieve, and I agree on you that he's the best NA player actually right now, 100%.
Sure.